I want to give you guys a little bit of an update. I've been spending not a lot of time because I'm still kind of a busy man, but still carving out enough time to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And from what I've played so far, I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight. I'm not going to spoil anything. Don't worry about it. This isn't going to be one of those. It's like I'm not going to spoil anything and then immediately spoil something. But I will make reference to something because I think that it's very important to put this story into context. But I'm at what I think it's chapter 3, chapter 2, whenever you get full access to the world, okay? I've played for, I think, just a hair under 11 hours at time of recording, and I haven't progressed the story at all. I've done all of the side quests because it's so much fun to play, but the overarching thing that I've experienced so far in playing the limited amount of the game that I have so far, I can't wait for the PC port because the PlayStation 5 has been underpowered ever since it's been released, and I've been playing on the performance mode where you can have 60 frames per second. I haven't seen any dips or any drops in that, so kudos for them for being able to pull that off, but the fact that you can't run 4K and 60 FPS, I understand that it's graphically intensive, and I've got the downloaded version that's right on there because Amazon kind of screwed up my digital deluxe copy, which I'm very upset about, but it's working as best as possible. It's just, I can't wait for it to be on PC, to mod the hell out of it, to also add some shaders on that because it's intensely desaturated, and well, also, I don't know, just allocate quite a bit of space to have all of the properly up-resed textures because it's a good-looking game. It's a good-looking game that's definitely made with a new-gen experience, but as somebody who's been primarily PC since 2014, it kind of seems weird to take a step back to go forward into the newest iteration of consoles, and then immediately having it on a graphics mode where you have not quite 30 FPS and everything looks like a flip book, but I'm loving it. I'm loving the hell out of it. I'm going to be playing it a lot this week, and then especially on Saturday. It's your boy's birthday, so I'm setting aside a lot of time for that. And one thing that I have experienced going off, and this is normally where a lot of this stuff would kind of creep in when it comes to the side quests, like outside of, there's nothing against this is just simply observing some stuff, a very diverse NPC pool. Nothing wrong with that. They're not being elevated because they're diverse. They aren't race swapping anybody. It's just a good old-fashioned fun video game. And there's nothing woke about it at all whatsoever. From going through, this is a part of the demo, so I guess it's not really spoilers, but the Nibelheim section. Oh, you're going through Tifa's stuff and you can't collect her underwear. Okay, weirdos. It's just as bad as this whole, oh, they're covering up Tifa. Oh, there's the Nexus mods. They're banning mods to get rid of the costume reversion. Now, I've got a problem with Nexus mods getting rid of the mod specifically because, well, if you go through what Nexus mods has, in the background, especially if you unclick the not safe for work content mods, and it's like, okay, cool. You don't want to remove the black undershirt that Tifa has in the flashbacks, but you're going to allow, everything bouncing out for the public to see. That's very interesting. So no, I don't like the fact that Nexus Mods is banning mods. This is something that they've been doing with a multitude of titles for very stupid and silly reasons. I don't like that. But for everybody crying woke over this, it's absolutely absurd. Because if you played the game a little bit, as somebody who has played through Final Fantasy VII, the original game, okay, with mods and all that different stuff throughout all of the years, more in the realm of about a dozen times, the change that they made, it's not even so much a change as it is providing additional context. I'm talking about Rebirth there for a second. It actually makes a lot of sense. It fixes a story plot hole. It's not really a plot hole in so much as the graphical fidelity back in the cut, back on the PS1, back in 1997, couldn't be leveraged. And it makes a lot of sense as to why, oh, Tifa's all covered up in the remake. I don't like that. I just want boobies everywhere, you bunch of simps. You make me sick. What's the character of Tifa like? She's better than she's ever been. That's what I care about. I need to be inundated with boobs all the time. Just go and troll Reddit. So no, seeing this, oh yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake mod restoring Tifa's uncensored cowgirl costume removed by Nexus mods. Well, you just go and screw up the continuity for yourself. But yes, previously reported last week, Square Enix released a patch of the 4-year-old Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, this is a big patch too. It was like 3.7 gigabytes. I was like, what the hell are you guys doing? But anyways, fixes several bugs. Yeah, that's the only thing that's in the patch notes. It was like interesting. Yeah, added an undershirt to the cowgirl outfit worn by teenage Tifa. Yeah, because she's supposed to be 15 in that flashback. So all you pervs that are out there, get against the wall for that. But okay, cool. That's what, the original? Okay, whatever. And then here's the updated one. Oh my god. And it's not an undershirt in so much as it kind of looks like it's just her shirt. But the entire reason that they did this is to put it into continuity with another game that's a part of the Final Fantasy VII compilation, Crisis Core. That was the first continuation of the story with higher graphical fidelity outside of the original. So when they had the opportunity to do that, they decided to, I don't know, cover up the teenager. Seems like a pretty smart idea, you jailbait enthusiasts. And then that also bleeds over to all the people. Oh, why is Tifa wearing the undershirt? Okay, why can't her fun bags be bouncing everywhere? And oh, I just want women to look like women in games. You make me sick to my stomach. But Nexus Mods getting rid of the uncensored Nibelheim flashback video files, the mod itself right there. I don't like it. I really don't like it, but that's Nexus, and this is not an excuse either way, but this is Nexus Mods being Nexus Mods. The gaming industry is incredibly woke. It's just, we're starting to see a shift back the other way, specifically when it comes to all of the pushback against stupid Sweet Baby Inc. You love to see stuff like this. This warms my heart, okay? Sweet Baby Inc. staff throw a temper tantrum after Steam curator list created to track and warn players against their work. And oh my god, okay, Sweet Baby Inc. I've done a couple of videos on them, mostly because I loved games for a long time. Every once in a while, like Rebirth, there comes a game where I'm, excited about the industry again. And then, of course, you have to wade through all of the crap that's out there, and their name, Sweet Baby Inc.'s name, started to get a lot more prominence, especially at the tail end of last year, with Alan Wake 2 being loved by the critics, and then everybody who played it is like, the hell is this? This is absolutely terrible. You got this Mary Sue lead character who's not Alan Wake, and oh, that's an existing character from the franchise who's been race swapped and also took a different job in the meantime without telling anybody. Kind of a strange thing. Who's making these decisions? And oh, it all comes back to this consultancy firm, Sweet Baby Inc., who also has their tendrils in a whole host of other companies and games out there. I guess their first big break was getting into bed with Sony and then being consultants on God of War Ragnarok, which, people have a problem with this Snoy games, okay? Third person, over the shoulder, hack and slash traversal games with a whole bunch of collectibles, but God of War Ragnarok apparently has. And I've watched a few reviews on all of it. I still haven't played, 2018? The new Norse storyline. I have it, and I just need to play it. Knowing how the story builds up, I'm definitely intrigued, and also don't know, like, outside, I think that there's one very obvious inclusion that Sweet Baby Inc. very likely did their seal of approval on, because in their own words, their entire point, their entire purpose in the industry is to make it more quote-unquote diverse. Stories be damned. So yeah, if there's some Black Norse mythological figures, it doesn't need to make a lot of sense. But thankfully, all of their writing credits started to get attributed to the likes of, yes, Alan Wake 2, and that was, Game of the Year, right? Narrative of the Year. Who's talking about that the few months removed from its release? And then, of course, the one that got a lot of the attention, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and Sweet Baby Inc. very much intertwined with that game. And now, because that was just such a catastrophic failure, everybody's starting to look specifically at this company, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, you're designed and your entire purpose is to ruin the gaming industry? Yeah, of the few apolitical based gamers that are out there, two different groups, by the way, they just don't want this stuff in here. They just want to go ahead and excise the bad that's out there. And Sweet Baby Inc. very much is that bad. But let's see what they've been spurging out over recently. Despite building an entire business on forcefully injecting identity politics into video games, employees of the inclusion-focused narrative consulting company Sweet Baby Inc. are absolutely livid that a Steam user has begun taking steps to ensure the public knows exactly which specific titles they've worked on. There's Alan Wake 2, yes, with Saga Anderson, who in the first game was, well, I think Alan Wake 2 is it's supposed to take place in a Nordic country. Obviously, you can tell by the name Saga Anderson. Picture not relevant. But yes, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Swedish, Finnish, Norwegian chick. Yeah, not quite the same. Made a couple of changes in the sequel, obviously. Self-described inclusion-focused narrative and consulting company, Sweet Baby Inc.'s main objective is to review and edit a given video game script through the lens of diversity and inclusion. They've said that in their own words. That's not editorializing. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. Yep, enriching yourselves, because you kind of tangentially work for the video game industry. Right. We aim to make games more engaging, fun, meaningful, inclusive for everyone. But you don't, because the titles that you've worked on, it is specifically worked on, not just tried to attach your parasitic name to in order to get some additional clout. They've all been bombs. Nobody talks about Alan Wake 2 anymore. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Well, the only thing that's been killed is Rocksteady Studios. Everything else that you're working on in the future, everybody's a little bit more trepidatious than usual. Oh, right, and Spider-Man 2. Right. Yeah, they worked on the narrative for that. I almost forgot about it. Yeah, there's another one of their inclusions where you have all the different flags, and outside of, the one where you put all four of them together, and it looks like it's not so much celebrating pride as it is a certain political party in Germany in the 1940s. But the rest of them, they just kind of look like disparate ice cream flavors. But okay, we believe that representation is key to connecting players and audiences, and we offer a few ways to help our team and project gain the perspective needed to make it happen. Their mission statement continues. We've been part of an inclusive and knowledgeable community of diverse consultants, and the rest of that stuff makes me absolutely sick. Yes, they've worked on Alan Wake 2, God of War Ragnarok, and there's their obvious inclusion right there. Does it take away from the story? Not from what I've seen, but that's another one of those situations, exactly what we had with Tifa over here. Okay, they covered her up, or they put a black chick in there. It's like, well, yeah, does it canonically make a lot of sense in the pantheon of Norse gods? No, it doesn't. Is it the worst aspect? Is the worst part of God of War Ragnarok her character? No, but her part? Very much so. Just boring walking and talking that seems completely and totally removed from the rest of the game. Very silly, but relatively unintrusive, but that's always how this stuff starts. That's what I was talking about with Rebirth, where, okay, if they're going to be trying to working their tendrils from the outside until they just grasp onto the internal organs of its host, they're always going to start with the side quests. And, well, I don't know, maybe black NPCs and a female engineer because we need more women in STEM. If you want to go to that length, I don't know, man. Go outside and touch grass, because as far as I can tell, not woke. But moving along to what's happening over on Steam. Well, the tail end of February 2024 saw an unsatisfied player create a public Steam curator page, which you can do as a recommendation list, or in this case, a not recommended list. Okay, aptly titled Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. Does that link out to the Steam page? Yes, it does. Fantastic. We'll go over that. Alongside marking each relevant title as not recommended, the page also provides proof, often screenshots, of the company's own website and tweets of Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in the given title. Exactly, because like it says up here, and we've gone through the website before, so I'm not telling any additional tales out of class on this one. They work with Xbox Game Studios, EA, Valve, Santa Monica Studios, 2K, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Warner Brothers Games, Wizards of the Coast, and more. I think they even worked on Hogwarts Legacy, which would kind of explain the trans bartender. But no, go ahead and buy that game, because J.K. Rowling is based. Fourth wave feminism is the future. People make me sick. But here, holy, over 100,000 followers on this one. 15 games in total. You got Neocab. I've never even heard of that one, but Assassin's Creed Valhalla, widely considered to be the worst Assassin's Creed out there. After Love, that looks pathetic. Gotham Knights, oh, that's been absolutely derided. I didn't even know they worked on that. All I know is that game, yeah, like you can see from the reviews that are down there, okay, yeah, it's been mixed. Yeah, it's been out since, the tail end of October 2022. Yeah, I didn't hear anybody like that, and the rest of this stuff, like, I've never even heard of it. Okay, I heard of Hyperlight Breaker. I thought that was, okay, oh, no, that's a continuation. Oh, okay, they're hopping on the bandwagon there. Breeze into the clouds. Yes, usual. Oh, I think I seen that one. The Games Award or something like that. They looked absolutely woke, and they put Sweet Baby Inc. prominently in their marketing campaign. And I think that probably is just going to go ahead and say a lot. But yeah, the stuff that they've worked on, okay, obviously, like outside of a couple of the Sony projects that are there, it's just not been good. Not been good. And then when it all gets pointed out, well, friends, they aren't happy that their work has been noticed. The first, yes, was consultant Maya Felix Kramer, who voiced her objections to the page amidst a Twitter thread decrying the recent speculation that audiences' rejection of DEI initiatives have played some part in the ongoing wave of video game industry layoffs. More on that, I think, later this week. But yeah, we've also talked about Microsoft basically putting the Xbox brand out on ice and using it as an IP farm. No, trust us, guys. We're still going to have exclusives. Whatever. I get to see a lot of tweets somehow blaming diversity as the reason for layoffs. Well, no, it's kind of the diversity hires at these companies that are brought in order to make games more inclusive, diverse, and equitable that are kind of leading the games industry in a soft collapse and a bit of a free fall right now. But no. Specifically diversity, trust me, if there was diversity of talent and we were actually living in a meritocratic society, yeah, they'd be taking a look at that diversity of talent and getting rid of the people that aren't up to snuff as a reason for the layoffs. Genuinely, as the economy was doing really great and capitalism simply worked before Miles Morales was Spooderman. They also don't recognize Miles as Spider-Man. No, like Marvel, when it comes to their merchandise, aptly titles Miles Morales and Peter Parker is Spider-Man, began Kramer, whose work history also includes sits as a PR manager for Zoe Quinn. Oh, okay, good. So she's used to dealing with deaths in an industry and an employee of a Silver String media consultancy firm, which notably once served infamous feminist gaming critic Anita Sarkeesian. Oh, so this is a professional grifter, but this is what happens, man. If you don't know these people, and that's a problem within gaming, okay? Because when Starfield failed, everybody just looked at Todd Howard, and it's like, Todd, why'd you make such a bad game? But you don't realize that there's so many other people underneath of it. Okay, when Xbox does something stupid, it's Phil Spencer to blame. But in actuality, there's so many other people underneath of it. No, there's still people blaming Bungie for the collapse of Halo. Like, at least on the Hollywood side of things, you know, whenever a director or a writer's attached to something, that's becoming a little bit more apparent. And now you can either look at that as a win or a loss, depending on the name of said director and writer. But then, of course, over the top of that is the studios. And, well, you could have intensely talented people, but if they're signed up for the MCU or a Lucasfilm project, you pretty much can bet that thing's going to be a disaster. But no, naming names within the game industry, that's got to be one of those things in 2024 where we're looking forward to just the maturation of the games industry, not in the way that these freaks have been trying to push it for the better part of a decade. The weirdest part is when I see these takes from developers or people that have dev bios, at least, because these people perpetually watch their peers in the industry for the moment that they step out of line and cancel them like that. They're absolute scum individuals. I don't know. It seems wild that a dev would see thousands of layoffs and blame not the industry giants, but instead a 15-person narrative. See, we're just the little guys that are out there. No. You've had your tendrils deep in the gaming industry for a long time, working with Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian, two of the people at the helm of this Hindenburg that is the 21st century video game industry. These people think a company of narrative designers that freelances on project has somehow single-handedly caused the employment collapse in games. No, you just happen to be the face of it because you have just such a detestable little logo for your company. You know, the insane notion of infinite growth or capitalistic greed. Why are you blaming capitalism has nothing to do? You keep its name out your mouth because you don't even know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're doing. How does capitalism even, fold into this? You think that spending $300 million on Spider-Man, spending that much money on Spider-Man 2, and then it only selling like $160 some million in units shipped? And units shipped, not even units sold. It's just as stupid as not looking around and realizing that the politics and the ideas that you're pushing and spurging out all over Twitter about. Okay, you got all of these screenshots and they just continue to go on and on and on and on, calling for everything that is calling them out. Because yeah, when this thing first got traction, the Sweet Baby Inc. detected list only had 9,000 followers, and now they've added a couple of digits over the top of that. Shout out to them. Oh, and for the first time in a long time, I actually see a community note that's generally funny become incredibly pathetic, just like a Sweet Baby Inc. worker. It's funny to see a note on my Steam curator post. I guess they need to defend themselves because they're completely wrong about everything Sweet Baby or any narrative team does and have no interest in finding out. No, you put everything on your website and we've read what you put out there, unlike you when it comes to consulting. You just have your notes and it's like, put a chick in it, make her lame, make her gay, but make her black, because that's the most important thing. Don't make her compelling. Don't make her further the story. Don't make it an actual boon or benefit to the game. No. We just need diversity. Why? Because all we push, all we think about, all we want is diversity. These people are a cancer, regardless of the industry that they're in. I'm just so thankful, and for the first time in a long time, it gives me hope for the gaming industry. Now, if we could just go ahead and have the AAA market just collapse so we could just go ahead and build something up in the aftermath, that'd be fantastic. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.